Hello, everybody, and welcome to week 13 slash week 14 of Behind the Curtain, the series where every week, kind of, I go ahead and talk about my week and a running theme throughout the week as well. As I've kind of alluded to, I unfortunately didn't make one last week. I'll get into it in a minute. But yeah, couldn't make one last week, so we're here today. I'll basically fill the gap. There's not much to fill the gap in with anyway, if I'm completely honest. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and talk about the last 2 weeks. Apologize if I cough and all that sort of stuff. Don't sound great through this because I've been ill for the past week plus. So yeah, the main thing to take away, the reason why there was one yesterday, not yesterday, I would have been waiting for this one yesterday, last week, is because I've basically been ill all of last week and this week, but I was much worse last week, to the point where like one day I was just like lay down, sat down all day, like just like in the front room type beat. But yeah, I'm feeling mostly better now. It's mostly just my voice, which is really frustrating, and a little bit of a cough. But yeah, I'm not feeling like sick, which is the main W to take away. But yeah, last week not too much happened. We had some more shows that I was helping out at, which of course was a lot of fun. And one key thing was I had a conversation with a family friend about singing, right? If you guys didn't know, I enjoy singing. I grew up singing and stuff like that. I've done bits and pieces here and there on YouTube and stuff. And I was having a conversation with him about like different voice types and stuff like that. And he basically started talking to me about how he had a similar voice type to me and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. It was very cool to hear that somebody. Oh my god, I'm stupid. That somebody. Oh wait, I'll literally jump over the. That somebody kind of knew exactly what I was saying, and basically it kind of worked out what my actual voice type is when it comes to singing, which is very cool. It means that I can kind of know what songs I can identify and that I can sing properly. Like I'm pretty sure I can sing "My Way" by Frank Sinatra. Now the annoying thing is, as I was trying to like work this out, I got my cold. Oh, like well, I'm probably not cold. It feels longer than a cold at this point. Where my voice wasn't working properly, it still isn't. So I still can't like 100% check. But yeah, I'm trying to work that stuff out. There's also like a new thing. I don't know if you guys heard about it, Hasbin Hotel, that I've listened to a lot of music from. I really enjoy the songs. So I've been trying to sing a few of those, and I can't sing still right now, so that's quite frustrating. But yeah, that was the main thing. And then of course. We had the whole. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Thanks for that. My watch just decided to speak. But then yeah, of course we had the whole illness thing, and that was kind of the whole week. I've had multiple meetings for my job stuff. Not had any roles yet, but they are being helpful and understanding with the meetings. They have said that if I don't find something in my specific sector, like within the next month, they're gonna have a big talk with me about any other potential stuff I could do. I'm not really against that, because I don't have like 100% like set in stone what kind of role I want. I just want something where like I don't hate every single day. You know what I mean? So yeah, we'll see where it goes. But that's kind of that for last week, and this week in regards to as well. There's not really been too much going on. I will say I've been spending more and more time doing stuff in person, and it is very enjoyable. So I don't know. I think finding a job that I actually have day in day out will really help, as long as it's one that I actually like really enjoy. And I do seem to be getting closer to that because the job advice and stuff that I'm getting from Universal Credit and stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of been the week. Well, the last 2 weeks. I've been trying to find jobs the same and been very ill. So yeah, I guess now I'll talk about like a topic that is if I'm honest, I had like no idea what topic I was going to talk about this week. What I usually do is throughout the weeks I'll like write down like little like things I've been thinking about or things that have just propped up, and then I'll try and make that week's video about that. And there wasn't really anything today until like just before this video. I went on Twitter and I got reminded of something. So today I thought we'd talk about everybody's favorite thing, AI. Yeah, AI. And the reason why is because if you've been on Twitter or anything recently, you will probably have seen these AI videos that just came out like a couple days ago, of basically complete videos that are made entirely out of AI. There's like one that is of like a kind of Japanese looking like stroll through the city. There's one that is a kind of like a bunch of little puppies playing in the snow, and there's one that is basically meant to be like a gaming Minecraft knockoff. That one is by far the worst looking, but yeah. And it kind of reminded me, for the longest time I've kind of mentioned wanting to do a video talking about AI. And I thought, you know what, today's kind of the point. Let's talk about it today. Let's talk about, I'm curious, you know, maybe you guys are curious what my thoughts on it are. I'm curious what your guys' thoughts on it are as well. So let's get into it. So, AI, in the past year, as you guys have probably seen, has, like, skyrocketed, right? It just basically all of a sudden existed, to be completely honest with you. And at first, like, sight, the prospect of it is really cool, right? Like, the thought of having your own, like, personal assistant is really cool. The jobs it can help you with, awesome. It can really help lower income people, really, because, you know, you don't have to, like, outsource various things. You know, it can code, it can do basic coding, it can do all sorts of tasks that you could just ask it to do and then it'll do them, you know, instead of you having to like hire an actual personal assistant. Obviously there's all sorts of like moral dilemmas and stuff like that with it that we'll get to, but yeah, in concept, stuff like that's really cool. You know, in concept, being able to type down a prompt for an image is really cool. I mean, the prospect of being able to have like custom hand-drawn thumbnails for every single YouTube video you make that are exactly what you want is incredible, right? That is a super cool idea that everybody would want. However, there's this thing that kind of I thought about, and it's the difference between something in concept and something in execution, right? So in concept, AI is cool. If you don't think about it too much, like the concept of having your own personal assistant that can do all these jobs for you just by you typing a prompt, you know, like if I want an image of, I don't know, I'm not creative, so I can't really come up with a thing, but if I want like an image of Darth Vader fighting Mario, I can have that immediately, right? And that is cool. In concept, that is really cool. The fact that you can, you know, if I need, for school, if I needed to make a piece of code in what's the software? In whatever software, Python, that said, you know, that was a calculator where you input numbers and then it will add those two numbers together. I could ask it for it and it would give me it perfectly. In concept, that is really cool, right? The thought of a lot of the jobs which are harder to do, being able to kind of simulate and have that done privately for yourself, you know, without it costing you anything. In concept, that's a really cool idea. However, in execution, it is incredibly, incredibly flawed and comes with a whole host of tons and tons of issues. The idea of AI and having all that sort of stuff to your disposal, the idea of, you know, how cool it would be that I could make a video and then type in, like, okay, a thumbnail of 7 Minecraft characters running away from the Ender Dragon. I don't know, something like that. And it could make a thumbnail, and I could keep adjusting it by saying, okay, do that. Try and do it again, but with less of this or more of this or whatever. The idea of that is super cool, right? But you come into the dilemma of, like, artists. Like, what... You know, that is technically an artist, like, role or job that's kind of been taken away. And of course, I'm thinking pretty small scale here. Then you have, like, the whole thing of businesses. How businesses use AI, and that's one of the big issues with it right now, is that, you know, businesses are always trying to work on being cost effective. And what is cost effective? AI. It doesn't cost you anything to use AI, and it means you can, you know, save money by cutting out roles. You know, maybe, you know, you can... A lot of graphic design roles have been being cut in place for AI art. As just an example, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other roles too. And I think the scariest thing with AI is... well, first of all, how people don't fully understand what its impact is going to be. And the other point, I'm going to be deadass, completely honest, I've kind of forgot, but I'll remember in a minute. But yeah, the thing with AI is... Oh, there we go. It is going to take all the high-level jobs away, basically. And what I mean by that is, mostly right now, the jobs that are paid or the most well-respected or whatever are jobs that in more, like, in not that much time are going to be able to be fulfilled by AI, and as such, those jobs won't be needed anymore, and AI will do them. And then, basically, what's going to happen is the world dynamic is going to shift. And what's going to happen is all the physical labor jobs that AI physically can't do are going to become the sought-after jobs, and all the actual thinking related jobs, they'll all be done by AI. Because AI can do it in a click of a finger, with the click of your fingers, and a physical job, AI, robots don't exist, or like robots that work off of AI yet. Jobs like plumbing and stuff like that is going to skyrocket in demand, and people in those career paths. Like if you're growing up right now, I would highly recommend you try and get into a career that is physical, just for stability. Like as somebody who my main thing is IT, I am so screwed. So screwed. And yeah, it's that's the main concern, is the future, right? That's what I think of, and it's really interesting because a lot of people don't understand what the actual like long-term effects of AI is going to be, especially older people. So I had this big conversation with my dad about AI, because this was when it was first kind of coming out, and it kind of stuck with me a little bit because we were talking about AI and we are talking about where it's going to go and how exciting it is or whatever. It was interesting. It was very interesting. From the jam from the trapdoor. Oh my god, this sweaty parkour! I can't believe it. And basically, he said, we need to kind of get away from this like paradigm of living, right? Like we shouldn't have to work like we do to live. And I thought it was a crazy take because he was saying basically like, why can't we just live our lives and enjoy them? And to be fair, I get his sentiment. I really do, and I agree with his sentiment. We shouldn't have to spend half our lives doing a job that we don't want to do, and that's why when it comes to searching for jobs, I only want to find a job that I actually do want to do. But the reality is, there is no alternative, right? Because the way he was looking at it was like, oh, it'd be really cool if we could have a job. If you could just live your life without having to have a job, you could just go out and spend time with your friends all the time. And so my counter argument was, all right, where we were at a pub at the time with some friends, and I was like, okay. So let's say this hypothetical of yours where nobody has jobs and everybody can just do whatever they want. We couldn't be at this pub right now because there would be nobody behind the bar. There would be nobody keeping the pub open. So it wouldn't be able to exist. That we wouldn't. This situation couldn't happen if nobody had jobs. And he was like, well, no, blah blah blah. This is, and he's wrong basically. It's the main thing to take away. The reality is, if that was the case, the pub would not be open. We wouldn't be able to be in the pub. And the other thing is, like I've kind of mentioned in the past, when you have like no like restrictions or like nothing that you have to do, then the things that you get to do become less special, right? Like if you are working 8 hours a week, the weekend becomes more special. That extra the time you have to yourself becomes more special, and you value it much more. Whereas if you don't, then you don't feel the kind of the special things. I've kind of touched on it a little bit in the past when I was talking about that job, and it's ironic that I'm saying this about jobs, right? Like I'm hating the job search right now. Yeah, I was very much for the way that jobs work. Obviously not entirely. Sure, there's could be better things and ways that they work, but as like a system, they have to be done. Like we could not live without having jobs, because if you don't have a job, then all the things you want to do that are ran by people who have jobs to run them wouldn't run. And that's kind of the reality of it at the end of the day. And that's the thing with AI, is that we're kind of screwed. Like, it's too late. I keep saying, like, to my dad, I was like, the AI needs to be regulated. And he's like, nah. I'm like, well, the reality is anyway, it's too late. We can't go back. Now, AI is like, what's that saying where, like, it's like a can of Pringles, right? Once you pop, you can't stop. Like, now that AI is out there, it's too late. It's too late. It's out there now. A lot of stuff is going to forever be changed. AI art is going to be a thing that's sticking around, and artists are going to, unfortunately, lose a lot of their positions. That is how it is. And it is crushing for that to be how it works, right? Like, the fact that is going to be how society is going to function is awful. You know, the poor people who have that skill, have that talent to create art. It's too late. Like I'm genuinely really sorry. Like we can't go back. This art, I mean, we've already got AI videos, 2 of which actually looked really realistic. And if you showed me those videos and didn't tell me they were AI, I'd be like, why are you showing me these random ass videos? And if we're able to simulate video, then art is just going to keep on getting better and better. Everybody's making fun of, oh, look at the eyes, you can tell it's not real, the hands. Yeah, but that's when you know it's AI. You know, when everybody was picking up, like, oh, this is clearly AI because of X, Y, and Z, it's because you already knew it was AI. That's why you were bringing it up. Most of the time, that is how it goes. Like, if I show you 2 images nowadays, one of them could be AI and one of them not. If I didn't tell you that, you probably wouldn't guess. Or most people would guess wrong. That's the reality of it. It is a shame, and something needs to be done about AI. I genuinely don't know what, but there needs to be something done sooner rather than later, because it needs to be stopped, and it is scary for my future. It's scary for your future. I would hate to be growing up right now, because yeah, the only thing that is kind of gonna stay definitely is the physical labor jobs, which are jobs that a lot of people can't do. You know, people with physical disabilities can't do physical labor jobs. You know, we kind of going in the reverse. We went from being able to, you know, working at home and, you know, a lot of people who struggle with various different issues being able to still work. We're basically going to invert now. We're going to go back to the way we were. It's crazy sad. And yeah, I'm curious what everybody else's thoughts on AI and stuff like that is. AI was a funny, cool joke when it first existed, but the more that you think about it, the more it pops up, the worse it is. And that's the sad reality of it. But anyway, hope you guys all enjoyed. Sorry for this week being very rambly. But yeah, I'll hopefully see you guys next week. What are your thoughts? How have your weeks been? And I will see you all next week. Goodbye, guys.